Alright, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be going over the OP-08 red cards. That's right, guys. We're going to be doing some spoilers today. So, spoiler warning. And that's going to be the major part of this video. And I'll try to dive straight into it because we have a lot of cards to talk about. But just to give a quick layout, I am going to have a game at the end of the video, a game for the sim. So it's going to be looking over all the OP-08 cards first. I'm going to tell you guys what I think about all the new cards coming out in OP-08 for red first. Then at the end of the video, we will go over a quick little fun game on the sim, playing Black Yellow Linlin. Always a good time with Black Yellow Linlin, right? And then from there, I'll do like I'll put up the deck list for you guys to check out. We'll talk a little bit about that. All right, like I said, let's get into this, guys, because we have a lot to talk about. These set reviews can last a long time with all the different cards we got to go over. So you know what you're getting into. Let's get into it. All right, first up, we got Portgoss the Ace. This is just a parallel alt art for the 7-cost 7K Rush Ace that we've had since, I think, like OP-02. Yeah, in fact, it says it down here, OP-02. So this is not a new card, but it is a really cool new special secret rarity type of card. Looks awesome, like really awesome designs, and I do like what they're doing. I like what Bandai's doing with some of these alt arts, even though I don't collect them personally. Personally, because it gives you something exciting about, when you get a new pack, there's the excitement of, oh, what if there's a really special rare card in here? So really cool stuff. Okay. I went over the leaders already in my previous video, so if you want to know what I think about Chopper, Marco, and all 6 of the new leaders coming out in OP-08, check out that video for that. All right, now, first card. So first up here, let me make sure y'all can see good. Yeah, y'all can see just fine. First up here, we got 20 Doctors is what it's called. It is a 2-cost, 2,000 power, 1K counter blocker for Drum Kingdom. So this is a very specific stat line within the game of One Piece. We see this stat line of 2-cost, 2,000 power, 1K counter blocker all over the place. It is just completely standard, completely average. This is just Drum Kingdom's version of the card. So 5 out of 10, very average, nothing too special here. Okay, next up we have Kuro Marimo, however you say that. He is a 4-cost, 5,000 power, 1K counter Drum Kingdom character with an on-play. If you have chess, it's in brackets, so I believe that's a name. If you have chess, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. Okay, I mean, that's not horrible, right? Like, that's not the worst thing in the world. Excuse me. It's a 4-cost, 5,000 power, 1K counter card. So that's already kind of fine as is. But one thing I have to say is at this point in the game, we are seeing cards that are like, 4-cost, 5,000 power, 2K counters with relevant effects. Like, look at Frankie, look at Perona. Now, this is a KO effect, and I think the only time I've seen it, I can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but like T-Bone, for example, is a 5-cost, 5,000 power, 2K counter with the KO a 2 or less. So this card is kind of in that vein, but it's not a 2K counter. It is 1 cost cheaper than T-Bone, but it's not a 2K. The effect is okay, but we'll have to see how much power reduction there is to do this. And I do like how they kind of... Well, I like and I don't like how they made this card rely on another card in play. But maybe that other card in play, this card named Chess, maybe that helps it, maybe it has power reduction built into it. Overall, though, excuse me, guys, if I were to rate this card, I would probably rate this one like a... I think it's a little better than average, even though it's slightly understated for a vanilla card that costs 4, because that would normally be a 6,000 power card. I'll still give it like a 6 out of 10. I think it's fine as is. And it's probably going to be a pretty decent draft card, excuse me, since it's a common. And if the chess card is a common as well, then it could be a pretty decent draft card. Okay, I'll give it like a 6 out of 10. Okay, and here's chess. All right, and that's what I thought. I had a feeling it was going to have, I can just read real quick, it has power reduction built in. So this is a 3-cost, 3,000 power, 1K counter, Drum Kingdom type character. Now, this one's pretty well understated. It should be, like, if you were going on the same pattern as this guy, Kuro Marimo, this is a 4-cost 5K, but this is a 3-cost 3K. So you'd expect it to at least have been like a 3-cost 4K, but let's see what he does. On play, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn. Then, if you don't have Kuro Marimo, play up to 1 Kuro Marimo from your hand. Okay, now, like I said, these are both commons, by the way. So if we're talking about a draft coming up, or whenever this comes out for us in the West, these are some cards to look at comboing. Because by itself, this is still minus 2,000, which allows you to beat into one of their bigger characters and, get a better chance of taking down one of their characters while still developing your board. And then if you also have this Kuro card in hand, that is just an awesome 1-2 punch play there. Excuse me. Very, very solid interaction there. But I still only want to give this... I'll give this one the same rating, a 6 out of 10, as I gave the Kuro, because I think they're both roughly about the same, like, in as far as, like, you know, how practical they are to use, right? How efficient they are. Because by themselves, they're just decent. But if you combo them with the other piece, then they're very, very solid. Okay. Next up, we got Chess Merimo. Okay, so now we got the combination of them. Okay, this is a 5-cost, 6,000 pounder. I was trying to say power while reading the counter. It's a 5-cost, 6,000 power, 1k counter, Drum Kingdom type character. With the effect of your turn, if you have Kuro, Merimo, and Chess in your trash, this character gains plus 2,000 power. Now, this one is an uncommon. But man, this looks pretty cool. This is an interesting little thing going on here. Like, you see how they combine? Let me scooch up, guys. Sorry. All right. Am I still in the camera? Okay. You see how they combine? Like, that's really cool, and I'm sure that, you know, there's stuff going on there with the lore behind, like in the actual anime or the manga. But as far as the card itself goes, this is pretty cool, because this is potentially a 5-cost, 8,000 power character. Really good stuff here. And even without the effect, by the way, it is still a 5-cost 6k with a 1k counter. I think this card's awesome. I think this is like a nice little... I'll give them all 6 out of 10s. Because, like, by themselves, they're actually worse than vanilla cards. But if you can somehow get these effects to resolve or, like, get some kind of benefit, especially if you can go Chess into Kuro Merimo, you'll be able to pop a 5k, and you played out a, seven Dawns worth of cards across 2 bodies, for only 3 Dawn. And then later, after they get KO'd, if you plop this card down, well, there you go. Just maximum value. Really cool stuff here. I actually like the way this is set up. Like, that's really cool interactions. Okay, next up we got Tony Tony.Chopper. This is a 3-cost, 5,000 power, no counter. It is a, Animal, Drum Kingdom, Straw Hat Crew type card. And the effect is your turn, on play, and when attacking. I always like when it's on play plus when attacking. I'm a big fan of that. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and play up to 1 animal type character card with 4,000 power or less rested. Wow, really good, right? You're playing a card from the top 5. Then place the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. That part's just standard. Yeah, this card is really, really solid. It is restricted to animal only. That is one knock against it. That is one downside. But the actual effect in and of itself is incredible. So, you play this card at 3-cost 5k, and you're potentially playing out another 3-cost 5k. Or something along the lines of something under 4,000 power or less that is animal type. So that's actually very, very good. I'm going to give this like a 7.5. Actually, I'll give this an 8 out of 10. Because as far as what it does, it's hard to get a much better card than this. But it doesn't have a counter. I understand it can't have everything, then it would just be broken. But it does not have a counter. That is worth mentioning. And you do have to build your entire deck around this animal type, theme. So, very interesting. Really good card, though. Like I said, I'll give this like an 8.5 minimum. I'll say that. I'll even go 8.5 to be on the safer side. Okay, here's the parallel alt art version of it. Looks really cool. Man, I like both of these. I like both of these alt arts, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I like both of these arts, even the standard one and the alt art. But I think I like the alt art a little bit better. Really cool. Nice pinks and stuff in there. Looks really good with this hat. Okay, next up is Dalton. We have a 5-cost, 6,000 power, 1,000 counter card here that has on play, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 1,000 power during this turn. Okay, that is a nice start to this card. Let's see what else it does. Dawn ×1, activate main once per turn. You may add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand. This character gains Rush during this turn. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. That is a pretty good card. So it's kind of like a 6-cost 7k rusher is how I would see this card. And then you do have to add 1 card from the top of your life to your hand. And that is before the colon. So if you cannot do that part, you can't activate the main. Right? If you cannot add a card from the top of your life to your hand, like if you have no cards in hand, then you cannot do this effect. But other than that, this card seems pretty good. On play, give up to one of your opponent's characters -1. Yeah, I'm going to give this like a 7.5 out of 10. Now, yes, you do have to have life in order to do this effect, but it's a 5-cost 6k with a 1k counter. On play, you're -1,000. That's probably not the greatest effect in the world, but it's better than nothing. But yeah, this I think this is a solid 7.5 out of 10 card, guys. This card seems pretty good. I like it. And as usual, guys, if y'all agree or disagree, by all means, put something down in the comment section below. Okay, next up we have Maria. I don't know. Maria Onion Bear. This is a 3-cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter vanilla card from Drum Kingdom. I'm just going to give it a 5 out of 10. Very average. It's just, you know, a vanilla card. Next up is Hiking Bear. This is a 3-cost, 3,000 power, 2k counter. Okay, we got an animal 2k counter here, guys. Animal Drum Kingdom type. The effect is Dawn ×1, activate main, once per turn. Up to one of your animal type characters other than this character gains plus 1,000 power during this turn. Okay, so that is going to help with the leader effect, guys. I'm going to go backwards just a little bit, guys. Y'all bear with me. There's a new card coming out called Tony Tony.Chopper, a new leader from OP-08. And his activate main, he's built around the Animal Drum Kingdom Straw Hat crew stuff. He can attach 1 Dawn to up to 3 of your Animal or Drum Kingdom type characters. Okay, it has to be rested Dawn, but still. So that will allow you to combo off very well with this new Chopper card here. So you'll play this down, right, on play, and you'll cheat out a card like this bear we were just looking at. And I'm sure, just, you know, without even knowing what's coming, I can assume that there's probably going to be a lot of interactions where it's like, oh yeah, if you attach 1 Dawn to this animal character, he gets a special effect. That would not surprise me. I mean, who knows? They might not do too many of those, but we'll have to see. But this effect here, pretty solid. Dawn ×1, activate main, once per turn. Up to one of your animal type characters other than this character gets plus 1,000. It's too bad you can't give it to this character or someone else. That would have been more ideal in my opinion, because if you attach 1 Dawn to this character, he still can't attack. Right, like, I mean, he can. You can attack it like maybe a character on the board that's like a 1-cost searcher or a 2-cost searcher, no problem. But it's not 5,000 power, so it can't threaten, you know, anything with just 1 Dawn attached. So I will say, the card seems good. Let me just say that up front. This card does seem pretty good. I'm a big fan of it in this animal archetype, but I do wish that he was either like a 3-cost 4K with a 2K counter and this effect. Because otherwise, or even make him a 4-cost. Even make him a 4-cost 4K, because that still gets under the stipulation we were looking at here, where it has to be a 4,000 power or less card with the animal type from the Tony Tony.Chopper search. I don't know. That might just be me being a little bit picky, but I just wish, you know, like I said, if the effect is to attach 1 Dawn, well, somehow, if I'm the designer, it better put me at a 5,000 power threshold, or else that doesn't really do anything for me, because they might as well say attach 2 Dawn, you know, to do this effect. Maybe if they had made it attach 2 Dawn and then give plus 2,000 power to another character, that would have been fine. But as is, I still think it's good. It is a 2K counter. Bare minimum, the bare minimum, no pun intended, that I'm going to give it is a 7.5 out of 10. I'm actually going to lean closer towards an 8 out of 10, because then maybe you can just keep this thing active and not attack with it. Okay, good stuff. Okay, check this guy out. This is Mushuru. This is a 6-cost, 8,000 power, 1K counter, Film Drum Kingdom vanilla card. So totally vanilla stats. This, I'm just going to go with a 5 out of 10. Okay, let's keep going. Next up we have Lapins. This is a 3-cost, 3,000 power, 1K counter, Animal Drum Kingdom type character with the effect of Dawn ×2 when attacking. Okay, so again, I like this much better already because it's taking into account that, yes, 5,000 power is the standard, the average base power that you're going to be attacking with. So that needs to be built into anytime there's an attached Dawn effect, in my personal opinion. So effect is Dawn ×2 when attacking. If your leader has the Drum Kingdom type, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 4,000 power or less. Okay, that's pretty good. I think this card's pretty solid. It ends up being a 3-cost 5K. And remember, with your leader's effect, you know, with the Chopper leader's effect, you will be able to attach 1 Dawn for free to this with that effect, potentially, if you have rested Dawn when you're trying to swing. Good stuff here. Hitting a 4,000 power or less is not incredible, but that will hit most searchers and most blockers in the game. You know, most of the well-used blockers right now. Good stuff. I'll give this a 7.5 out of 10. I think this card's solid. Okay. Next up, we have Robson. This is a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1K counter, Animal Drum Kingdom type with the effect of Dawn ×2. This character gains Rush. So just like with this card, the leader effect is good at getting you close to this effect, but you're still going to have to invest Dawn in another way to get this this activation online. And the same thing with this one. This guy has Dawn ×2. This character gains Rush. This one was the Dawn ×2 KO of 4,000 power or less. I like that, but again, I wish they had incorporated it where it's like, how do I say this? even if they had made this card a 4-cost 4,000 power card, a 4-cost 4,000 power with Dawn ×1, this character gains Rush. Same idea with the 2K counter we were just looking at. I feel like that would have just made the card a little better at what we're trying to do. Well, I mean, I say what we're trying to do. I'm not exactly sure yet, to be completely fair, guys. You know, bear with me. I am still learning a lot of these cards, just like y'all. But I will say I feel like that is a... I feel like these cards are not designed ideally like that. Like Dawn ×2, yeah, you'll be able to swing for 6K, but I'd rather just be able to swing in for 5, typically speaking. 6K is in certain situations, but 5K is going to elicit a response from my opponent, and I wouldn't have to invest anything into this effect. Because, think about it, I could literally play this out for 3 Dawn, use my leader's effect to attach 1 Dawn to up to 3 different characters that are Animal Drum Kingdom, and then boom, this guy's getting Rush. And that was like no extra investment for me. Now I have all the rest of my Dawn to play out for the turn and go about it that way. But I'm still fine with this. I'm not saying it's a bad card, and I'm going to give this a 6. I'm going to give this like a 6 or a 6.5 out of 10, because this isn't a bad card, period, in my opinion. Like, I would even say, I'll give it a 7 out of 10, because you could just play this card as a 5-cost 6,000 power Rush card. You know what I mean? Because that Dawn ×2 effect doesn't require you to be Animal or Drum Kingdom type. So you could just play this as a 5-cost 6,000 power Rush card with a 1K counter. It's not horrible, right? It's definitely not horrible. So not bad. I'll give it a 7. 7.5 is probably as high as I'd go with it. Okay, next up we have Wapol. This is a 6-cost 6,000 power 1K counter Drum Kingdom type. He has the effect of Dawn ×1. When attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn, and then this character gains plus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So he will be strong. You know, this will be like a... Excuse me, this will kind of be like a... Well, it is when attacking, so not on play / when attacking. But if this card survives, which is asking a lot, I know that's asking a lot these days for One Piece, but if this card survives 1 turn and attacks, it will be swinging in, you know, with 1 Dawn attached. You're swinging in for 9,000 power and giving one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power. So that allows you to swing into like a 10,000 power character, or let's just say like Gecko Moria. You know, Gecko Moria is a 9,000 power character. So if they swung out with their Gecko Moria the turn prior, and like I said, if this guy somehow survived, if you attach 1 Dawn to this guy, which I think you can do with Chopper, right? If you were to run that, because he can do Drum Kingdom as well. Sorry, guys, I do have to go back real quick. My apologies. Animal or Drum Kingdom type. Yeah, so let's keep going through it. Sorry, guys, again, I don't mean to just flash through these. Okay, there he is. So for this guy, even in Chopper, if you were to attach 1 Dawn, like with the leader effect, or just attach it the old-fashioned way, guess what? When you attack, and you could go minus 2,000 to their 9,000 power character like Gecko Moria to drop it to 7, and now you're swinging in for 9. And that was a 1 Dawn investment on a 6-cost character battling against an 8-cost character. So that is pretty solid. That's some good stuff there. Okay. I'll give this card... I don't think this card's incredible, but it's not bad. You know, it's one of those situations where it's like, you know, it is... I'm just going to say, because of, you know, whenever I'm judging these cards, I'm trying to judge them in a vacuum, and at least like with some... you know, synergy with cards around it, because otherwise why would you play any card if it doesn't have something to go off of in the current, you know, within its archetypes, you know? But I will say I try to judge these as like bland, you know, as basically as possible. And with this card by itself, even with getting off this activation into something, like I said, like a swinging into a 9K, turning it to a 7, and your guy going up to a 9, I still don't think this card is insane. I think it's pretty good. So I'm going to give this... I'm going to give this card like a 6 out of 10, because that's where I was going with all that. Sorry, guys, I got a little bit sidetracked. What I was trying to say was, like, in the current meta, you do have to consider the cards how things are in the current meta, like in conjunction with how they are. And this card in particular is probably going to get removed every single time, because this is a 6 Dawn investment, and you're dropping it. And, you know, they might even just ignore it. They'll just use a blocker to get out of this attack or something, or counter out of it or something like that. It's hard to say. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, though. Okay, next up we have Dr. Kureha. This is a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 1K counter, Drum Kingdom. It has on play, look at 4 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Tony Tony.Chopper, or Drum Kingdom type card other than Dr. Kureha, and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Just a solid Searcher. I'm going to give this like a 7 out of 10. I think I always give Searcher somewhere between a 6 to a like 8 out of 10, unless it's like an insanely good Searcher, you know, like you know, the 3-cost 5K Nami. I think I gave that one like closer to a 9 out of 10, because it's a 3-cost 5K body. It recurs searching and all that good stuff. But I'm going to give this one like a 7 out of 10. It's just a good Searcher. Okay, this is the parallel art to what we were just looking at for Dr. Kureha. Looks pretty good. Very cool. Very good composition there. I do like the art. Wait, so is this? Okay, I got you. This might sound funny, guys, but at first glance when I saw this, I wasn't really paying attention to the physique, and I was just kind of noticing the face, and I thought this was a guy. I'm sorry, guys, because I don't watch the show. So when I saw from this angle, you know, some things were much more pronounced from this angle, and I did not realize it was a girl. Okay, so very interesting, very cool. Very good composition, though. I like this one. Again, you got the face up here. The bottle is so notice the composition here, guys. I might have to do maybe an entire video on like art composition sometime. But notice the body is going from this corner kind of down to here. You see where the legs are, and it does kind of spread out as a pyramid at the bottom. But then going across this corner to this one, you have the bottle taking up the entire like center mass of the picture. Really cool stuff there. Awesome. Looks really good. They have great artists in this game, obviously. Okay, next up we have Dr. Hirluck. He is a 3-cost, 0-power 2K counter. Okay, it's a 2K counter from Drum Kingdom. The effect is activate main. You may rest this character. And if your leader is Tony Tony.Chopper, all of your Tony Tony.Chopper characters gain plus 2,000 power during this turn. Activate main, rest this character. If your leader is Tony Tony.Chopper, all of your Tony Tony.Chopper characters gain plus 2,000 power during this turn. That is really awesome. Because remember, guys, we did just get a EB-01 Tony Tony.Chopper, and there, of course, there's others as well. But if you can, like, if you have quite a few Tony Tony.Choppers in your deck, this is a great 2K counter, because throughout the game it's a 2K counter, right? Nothing special. It is Drum Kingdom searchable for the card we were just looking at, the Dr. Kureha card. But then, in this case, you can buff all of your like 3-cost 4K Tony Tony.Choppers, your 3-cost 5K Tony Tony.Choppers. This is a very solid 2K counter. I'm actually going to give this one like an 8.5 out of 10. Because I normally give 2K counters like right around a 7.5. This one I got to give an 8.5 to. Okay, next up we have I'd Never Shoot You. Okay, it's a 2-cost Drum Kingdom type event. We're on events now, guys. This is a counter. Up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 4,000 power during this battle. Then give up to one of your opponent's leader or character cards minus 1,000 power during this battle. Okay, so this is a 5,000 counter, right? We haven't seen something like this since Ikaku Sovereignty for yellow, which was a while back now. But this is basically a 2-cost 5,000 power counter, but it's actually even better than that because, okay, it's a 2-cost 4K counter for this current attack, and then you could potentially give minus 1,000 to the current attack or to one of his other characters, one of your opponent's other characters that they have not attacked with. So that's really solid. This is a very, very nice counter. Let's see what the trigger is. Trigger up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 1,000 power for the turn. Okay, I mean, this is a really nice defensive counter, I have to say. Really solid. I'll give this like a 7 out of 10. It's hard to judge and rate the events because, man, if it's not like insane, it's not even going to get used, right? But this card seems pretty good. It seems pretty usable because if you're playing out, like this is Drum Kingdom, right? If you're playing out a bunch of like little 2-cost and 3-cost, 1-cost cards here, for the animal and Drum Kingdom stuff, excuse me, you might have a lot of, Dawn left over to sit on an event like this. So very solid. I'll give this like I'll give it like a 7 out of 10. Okay, next up we have Cloven Rose. This is a 2-cost event, Animal, Drum Kingdom, Straw Hat Crew searchable type for the types. Then the effect is main up to 3 of your characters. Okay, gain plus 1,000 power during this turn. Then give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn. Trigger, give up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters minus 3,000 power. Wow. Okay, so with the leader effect, and this is a main, by the way, guys. This is not a counter. The trigger's kind of like a counter, but no, the effect is main. Up to 3 of your characters go plus 1,000. So with this effect right here, and by the way, think of it like always try to think of how it applies to the game. If you play this first, that's 2 Dawn that you just used to give plus 1,000 to 3 characters. And if you use like another one, I'm just giving like a perfect example here. If you have another one of these, boom, plus 1,000 again to all the, so now you have plus 2,000 going around, and then you'll have 4 Dawn rested, so you can use your leader effect to attach 3 to those 3 characters. So this is, and I understand you don't want to like double up unless it's like for lethal, but hopefully you guys see what I'm saying. That could be potentially really, really powerful. Really cool stuff there. I like this event. It's a little bit combo-y because you do have to have a lot of characters that survive on the board in order to get your full value out of this effect. But if you can get those characters on the board, it is very strong. I'll give this like a 6 out of 10. Okay, next up is Munch Munch Mutation. This is a 3-cost Drum Kingdom type event with a main slash counter. Okay, that you can use this in your main or during the counter phase. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 power during this turn. Then up to one of your characters plus 3,000 power during this turn. Okay, so this is a 6,000 power counter, right? Because you're giving minus 3 to that guy, plus 3 to this guy. That is nice. That it is both. Now it is only to characters, by the way. You cannot give minus 3,000 to a leader and then minus 3,000, and then plus 3,000 to your leader. It can only be characters, but still, that's pretty good. That will help you defend these smaller characters. But then the question becomes, do you really want to do that, right? Let me read the trigger real quick. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 5,000 power or less. Okay, so I actually really like the trigger. Now, it's not base power. I wish it would say base power on cards like this. I think that's... Like, I understand there is some skill around playing around things like Jet Pistol or like this, for example. But at the same time, you know, it's so random to have whatever card is in your life that you have in there. It would be nice if it was actually like, you know, the trigger was very foolproof, like where they could not get through it. But I will say I think this card's decent. It's a 3-cost event. But here's the thing that I think, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10 because it is a main activation as well. If it was just a 3-cost counter with this effect, I would actually drop down to like a 5 or even lower. But since you can do it on your main to like potentially take out one of their characters, or even just to buff, you know, well, actually, excuse me, you would never do this for any other reason than to take out one of their characters, right? Because attaching 3 Dawn to your guy is the same thing as using this effect on your guy to give your guy plus 3,000. So this would only be to like attack characters. And for that, it is good in that regard. So you're paying 3 and you're basically taking out a character, right? Because think of it like this. If they have a 7,000 power character and you have a 5,000 power, or even a 4,000, let me say it like this. If they have a 7,000 power character and you have a 4,000 power character, because we saw a lot of really tiny characters up here, right? 4K, 3K, you know, 3K. Doing a 6,000 power swap is huge. Let's even do the 3-cost or the 3,000 power guys. If they have, first I was saying do the 7 and 4, but that just changes, right? Now you become 7 and they become 4. So now they'd have to double 2K out. But even if you have a 3,000 power character and they have a 7,000 power character, you go up to 6 and they go down to 4. Do they really want to use a 2K, 1K? You know, pretty cool card. And then the trigger is really nice because you can KO with it. And then worst case scenario, this can help you in other ways, you know, for defending if you absolutely need to get plus 3,000 for the turn. And actually, excuse me, it's really a nice way. Yeah, actually, no, because remember, it can only go for characters. So what would be nice is using this, if your opponent swings in for like, you know, 7K, you can pay 3 and just counter that attack. Turn them down to a minus 3,000. Okay, good stuff. Okay, next up we've got a stage here. This is a 1-cost Drum Kingdom type stage. The effect is opponent's turn. All of your Drum Kingdom type characters gain plus 1,000. Very nice. Like that. Okay, this is very good. Because like I said, these characters are very tiny. But if you can get this stage down, seems really good. Now, one thing I will say is you probably want to run 4 of these. So it would be really nice to work in some type of cycle into a deck that's running something like this. I don't know if that exists or not off the top of my head for red and green, for something like a Chopper, for a deck with Chopper as the leader. But guys, this is a very nice... Oh, well, it is opponent's turn only. Let me say that. Opponent's turn. So it is harder for them to KO your guys, but it doesn't help you get aggressive. It's not as good now. I'm sorry, guys. I do apologize, because these characters are already so tiny. They're like probably average costed from 3,000 power to 5,000 power. So the biggest you could probably get is like 6,000 power realistically. Well, I don't know. Some of the Drum Kingdom guys were a little bit bigger. We'll have to see. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this stage down below. I personally am going to give this just I'm actually going to give it a 4 out of 10, guys, because it's not helping you attack. It's only helping you, you know, defend. Remember, in One Piece, when it comes to defending, they're probably just going to pop your character with a cost reducer or with like a power reducer. Now, yeah, against Law, this does help. On your opponent's turn, you know, if you're going against a red-purple Law player, no, it still doesn't really help, right? Because if you have a 3,000 power or 4,000 power or even a 5,000 power character, this will only put them at 6,000 max. Well, that's 1 Gordon away from getting bottom decked still. So maybe for your 6,000 and higher characters, 6,000 power and higher characters, this would be good. But for all the stuff you really want to, you know, flood the board with, this just doesn't really protect them. So I'm actually going to go 3.5 out of 10 with this one. I'm going to drop this down. This is the lowest rating so far. Okay, and now we got Rayleigh. We got my guy Rayleigh. I have already talked about this leader, or excuse me, this character. Hopefully we get a leader soon. But I have already talked about this character in the past. Just to give a quick, I guess I'll go over it again since this is what this video is for. This character, I think, is very solid. It's better than I originally thought when I first saw it, when it first was previewed. I was like, oof, that seems horrible. Honestly, guys, that was my initial thoughts on this leader. I was like, this just seems terrible. But in decks like Red Purple Law, Red Blue Marco, and probably Red Blue Vivi, I know, let's not roll our eyes too hard, but like honestly, like this leader, excuse me, I keep saying this leader, this character is actually pretty solid. It's an 8 cost 8K. I wish it was an 8 cost 9K. It's a former Roger Pirate, so it has no search ability, but the effect is very powerful. Up to 2 of your opponent's characters get minus 3,000 and minus 2,000. Like give minus 3,000 to one, minus 2,000 to the other, and then you can pop a 3,000 power or less character. It is an on-play effect. It's not an on-play / when attacking. But yeah. All right, I'm going to give you guys my opinion on what this card should have been. Zero bias. Just because Rayleigh's my favorite card, zero bias take incoming right here. This should have been a 7 cost, 9,000 power character. Okay, no counter. Actually, excuse me, 3,000 power counter. No, I'm just kidding. But the effect should have been on play / when attacking. And I think it should have been pretty much exactly what it says right there for the on play effect. I just wish they had dropped his cost down by 1. That's just me. I know that's a little bit, like I said, that's just what I wish personally. I'm not saying it would have been balanced. Rayleigh shouldn't be balanced. You guys know this. And I wish it had been another color. I understand like the power reduction is all about red, but I wish they had made him some type of other color, because I'll tell you this right now, guys. This card probably takes Red Purple Law to the next level. It was already at the next level, right? But a card like this, in conjunction with another card that we're going to be looking at in purple with Black Maria, you're just easily going to be able to play this card out. There's not going to be like, yeah, but Red Purple Law goes backwards in Dawn. You can't really get down an 8 cost character reliably. Maybe in OP-07, right? But in OP-08, this card will be easy for them to play out because of cards like Black Maria. Or Black Maria, however you say it. Okay, I think that's it, right? This should be it for all the cards. Okay, oh, nice. Got the alt arts, of course. This is the normal alt art, not the manga. I don't like the background. Okay, like this is the manga. I'm a big fan of this just because that's just what mangas are. I have no idea what the translation is in the background, guys. If y'all know, just put it in the comment section below. This is one of the few mangas I'll probably try to get. I do not do alt arts, but this is my favorite character, so there is some kind of, maybe I have to go for this. Maybe I have to try to get it. But I'm not a huge fan of this one. I don't really like the parallel alt art version of this leader, or this character. There I go. I'm out of it right now. Okay, y'all bear with me, guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we go back to the ace. So just to give a quick summary before we go over to the final part of this video where we go over the Black Yellow Linlin game. Chopper is interesting. This leader, I'm not even going to talk about Marco because it didn't really get, like, these cards were not for Marco that we saw. The Drum Kingdom and Animal stuff, that is all for Chopper. Now, the Silvers Rayleigh will go very well in Marco. But, and I have an entire video on that you have to check out if you don't know what I think about it and you want to know. I've done an entire video on that. But as far as, like, the Drum Kingdom stuff goes, let me read Chopper real quick. Give up to 3 of your Animal or Drum Kingdom type character cards, up to 1 Rest of Dawn card each. So, with all these cards, like, let me skip past these and get more to the Animal stuff. This is just going to help you search for those Animal cards, so that's big. And I think you're going to want to go more Animal instead of Drum Kingdom. But this is a Drum Kingdom card, and with the Leader's effect, with Chopper's effect, you can attach 1 Dawn for free if you have some Rested Dawn to give out. So that's very nice. In fact, just play this guy out, right? Minus 1,000 power to one of their characters, and then use your Leader's effect and attach Dawn to this guy and 2 other characters, and then activate your main, and now you're smashing in with Rush with this guy. Like, that's potentially very, very solid. Okay, this card was cool as well, but it's really just a 2K counter at the end of the day. Lapins, these cards all have these Dawn X abilities, so I get why the Leader effect does what it does, but a lot of these Dawn X abilities they're times 2, right? Like, this is an X2 ability, this is an X2, so it doesn't really get the full benefit of the Chopper's effect. Which kind of makes me a little bit sad. I don't know why they would work it out that way. Here's another Drum Kingdom guy. He would be pretty decent as well with the Leader's effect. Just a good searcher. This will be excellent. But this doesn't search up animals, which is so annoying. Well, let me see how many of these... Okay, they are... A lot of these animals are still Drum Kingdom, so never mind. That's really good. Excellent. Okay, so the Dr. Correa card will be able to search up the animals we need for a Chopper deck. And this nice little 2K counter here. And the events were all just decent, and same with the stage. All right, guys. Oh, let me give a rating on Silvers Rayleigh. So after thinking more about it, I still am going to give this card, like, probably... Hey, I'm just going to stick to the theme. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, right? It's an 8 cost, 8,000 power character. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. I wish I could give it a 10 out of 10, guys. This is my absolute favorite character, but I can't lie to y'all like that. There's no way I'm going to give this more than an 8 out of 10. I don't know. Some people might think it is a 10 out of 10. I don't know, but I personally think it's around an 8. And there's the manga. Okay, so now, guys, let's go ahead and hop into the game real quick that I got for y'all. Don't worry, I'll take this... Get everything all set up. Turn this off, and then turn on, and then move my face over. Make sure we're full screen like that. Yeah, and we're good. We're pretty good here. There we go. All right, so we got a game here of black, yellow Linlin versus green jewelry Bonney. Let me make sure the speed is at 2x. We're good. So I've made some revisions to black, yellow Linlin. At first, I was really messing with the idea of the 3 brothers, which I don't think is horrible, but then I was like, you know what, why don't I just run the package I've been talking about with, like, black-red Garp, black-green Issue. I just recently did deck techs on those, right, like huge comprehensive deck guides. Why don't I just use that package of, like, Brooke plus Rebecca plus Gecko Moria? You're going to see what we're using in this video. It's very much that idea. So right here, I just play out a Kuzan because Jewelry Bonney doesn't have a lot of ways to pop characters to rest them outside of the leader's effect. So they're going to swing 6 into here. I don't have a 2K, so I'm just going to take this. I'm fine with that. I don't want to take my life too aggressively, though, against a leader like this. Okay, so right here, I have the Kuzan where I can easily get rid of this Uruj. Let's see what I decide to do. I think that is the right call. I don't remember. I did this game about a week back. Yeah, I kind of like just swinging 5 here. Let's see what I do. Okay, swing 6. Okay, I'm counting out. Okay, I easily had enough there. So swing 6, play out the Rebecca, and he just blocks that. So I was like, wait a minute. Okay, well, in that case, I'll tell you what. I'm still probably gonna. I should have played out the Brook. I don't know what I was thinking, guys. Oh, I'm glad I didn't though. I'm glad I didn't because he would have easily taken that out. So he swings 1K into my Kuzan. I just counter out of that. Hey, I've got my Ice Age in hand, and now I can easily take out this this Hody Jones with Brooke. Brooke is, guys, I'm telling you, there's something about this package that makes me feel so comfortable running any deck that has black in it just with this package, and then splash whatever the color it offers. Like in Yellow's case, in Black Yellow Linlin's case, Tinlin. Like I just popped that with a T-Bone. I don't know why I'm not playing out my oh, excuse me, I couldn't have popped it that turn with my with my Brook. What am I talking about? Because the Ice Age can only drop him down to 2. Okay, so he gets out another turn of development here. I'm just going to swing in with stuff that I can. I want to see what he taps down. I'm very curious to see what he taps down. If he taps down T-Bone, I can just be more defensive here. But if he taps down, he didn't tap down anything there. So that's weird. Does he get a chance to do it afterwards? I'm so confused. I guess since the Bonney missed their chance to use it, they just lost it. Then Tendon left, drop down Big Mom. You've got 1 life left. I've got a blocker. Look what's in my hand, by the way, guys. Not exactly bad. Okay, right here. So I should have actually blocked with Rebecca. So that way I could have used the Rebecca with my Gecko Moria this turn. That was definitely a play mistake, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. So right here, I do need to get that Rosinante off the board so that I can pop this, what's his name, this Eustace kid. Okay, so I'm going to swing 12 into it. He's going to give me Rosinante here, or else he's crazy, right? It would be crazy to not give me Rosinante there. Okay, but right here, I do have some things I can do. Yeah, but unfortunately, I can't do it the way I want to. I have to go -3, then play out Helmeppo, -2, -3, or excuse me, -5, then -3, then play out Brook. Because I did not think ahead and think more in the terms of a macro, let me pause for a second, guys, because I am working on a video soon talking about the intricacies of, like, focusing on the micro, which is the turn you're in, versus the macro, like going into your next turn and, like, in next turn, trying to win the game, thinking long term. Because I did not think well enough into the future of this game, it totally messed up my play there. Do y'all see what I'm saying? If you have any comments or questions on that, please just ask down in the comment section below. But what I should have been able to do there is I should have been countering out cards like my Brook and like my Helmeppo, so that way later in the game, I can combo those with my Gecko Moria to pop whatever. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, and if not, like I said, just ask in the comment section below. Okay, so let's see what he does here. I swing 9, and he counters out. I mean, instead of doing a huge counter like that, why not just give me the Uruj? Because that Uruj is not doing anything for him. Okay, so he must be dropping 10 cost Dofi. Not bad. That's not a horrible thing for sure. But at the same time, I've got bad news for him. I just got another 10 Lin. Your turn, sir. I'm at 3 life. He has almost no way of surviving this. Because even if this game goes on and he starts taking out my board, I've got a Gecko Moria coming. I've got Rebecca's. I've got 2k counters that can KO. I've got 2k counters that can cost reduce. I can gain life all day with my leader's effect, right? Okay, right there, they just pass. I don't know what's going on. We're swinging 12. Your turn. Or, you know, your action. All right, right there. Well, now I can just reduce, or excuse me, I'm going to swing 5. I'm going to get every single card out of their hand that I can here. Let's see what he gives me. Swing for 7. Okay, and honestly, yeah, right here's, you just go -2 here, you play out Brook, you -2 again, then you swing 7 with, or 8, excuse me, with Brook, popping the blocker, and he gets out of it. He actually surprisingly gets out of it, but what do you do when this is your opponent's board? Okay, he swings 11, this is conceding, basically. Yep, I'm like, yeah, I'll take it, okay, and I'll take that too, and go down to 1, or go down to 0, but now untap, GG, just swing 12. Awesome. Really good stuff there. I'll show you guys the list once it says... oh, I think he's told me GG in the little comment section or whatever over there, so I was like, GG, man. Good stuff. So this is the list that I was using. Let me find it real quick. Black, Yellow, Linlin. What did I call it? That's not it. Oh, no. Like I should have had this prepared before, guys. I'm sorry. Did I call it Bros? No. It's one of these guys, don't worry. We just have to go through every one of them. Okay, this is it. This is it for sure. So this is the list I was running, guys. Let me move my face before I forget, as usual. I'll run through the list real quick, and I'll talk about it for a second. Okay, so I'm running 4 Brooks, because I think this card is absolutely insane. 4 T-Bone, it's just a great 2k counter. 4 Kuzan, 4 Suru, 4 Borsellino, 4 Branu, 3 Sabo. This could go up from Garp. I'll talk about in a second. 4 Rebecca, 4 Gecko Moria. Again, this little... you know, triplet here of just like Brook, Rebecca, Gecko is just absolutely insane. Then Helmeppo, Charlotte Linlin, or excuse me, 4 Helmeppos, 4 Charlotte Linlin, 2 Ace. I'm just trying that out, and that's why I'm running the single Garp. And then 4 Ice Age. This Garp can absolutely be something else. I just kind of wanted something to be able to search up like a rush character. But honestly, why not just, like going into OP-07, I tried to make this list OP-07, by the way, guys, in case y'all didn't see that. I'm not running the 10 cost Ace, but who knows, maybe going into OP-08, like, maybe this does become the 10 cost Ace. I don't really know. I also wanted to try to include more yellow cards in the deck. So if you guys have any ideas of what I could add here, maybe just go up a third Ace. Like, maybe that's just the right call. I don't know. Otherwise, I think the deck is running... Here's all I'm going to say. Since I'm already running like the Navy package with Branu, and of course Branu just trashes cards that I can't get, like, especially Brook, which I can get back with Rebecca. But maybe instead of these aces and this one Garp, maybe I go 3 Hogbacks here. And that might sound crazy, guys, but at that point, what I can do is I can get back Hogback with my Rebecca. Let me type in Hogback so y'all know what I'm talking about. This guy right here. So notice he's not leader locked. He's a 4 cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter, so I don't have any problem just countering out with him early. Who cares? But on play, return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order, and then put up to one of your Thriller Bark cards other than Dr. Hogback from your trash to your hand. So I think that, I could get back my Gecko Morias with this. That's the only reason it would be in the deck. So maybe I run this as a 1 or a 2 of. Oh, and another card I literally just thought about off the top of my head would be the new Sabo card. But this is not till OP-08, this card right here. Or excuse me, no, it is OP-07. Whoa, hang on. So this is OP-07, guys. I've gotten so confused because I was doing an OP-08 spoiler. Ace and this card are both in OP-07. I'm completely losing it, guys. But yeah, this card might be the card that needs to go in over Ace and Garp. Because, I mean, being able to pop a 5 and a 3... that's just good, period, right? And it's also a way, like it says, trash a card from my hand. I could trash cards like my Helmeppo. I could trash cards, like Brook, that I can get back later with Rebecca or Gecko Moria. So moving forward, let me just say this, guys. I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to put in Hogback. This is probably the direction I'll be taking the deck going forward. And at this point, maybe I even splash in another 2K counter, like 1 or 2 2K counters that I could search back up with Hogback, something like Perona. Because, first of all, I can't say enough good things about Perona. I think the card is absolutely incredible. But with Hogback, if it's like late in the game where I just really need a 2K counter to keep going, you know, after like because I could gain a life with my leader and still play out the Hogback to get back a 2K counter from my trash. So there could be something there. There could be some potential there. So maybe I will try that going forward, is going Hogback, and then. But the question is, what do I swap out to go up like maybe 2 Peronas? Because I would say probably 2 Peronas is enough. Maybe I'd swap out like 1 Sabo and 1 Borsalino. I don't know, something like that. And just to make this deck more budget for people who might be trying to make this into a budget deck, just drop all 4 of the Borsalinos for just 4 2K counters. That's what I would recommend. The Sabos are like 20 bucks a piece now. So like Borsalinos are like $50 a piece now, right? Just swap this out for any blocker you want to, even a Fukuro. Fukuro would actually be a very solid card to add here if you want the blocker, but otherwise I'd go up some 2K counters here. Kuzan, pretty much do the opposite of what I said, where it's like just put in 4 Peronas here and then 4 Fukuros for the Borsalinos. And then for the Sabo, it is hard to replace him. It is really hard to replace the effect. That's the problem. Is you want the draw 2 trash 2. You want to cycle cards out of your hand if you get bricked up late game. So this one you'll have to think a little bit about. Maybe y'all help me down in the comment section below. But I'm sure there's a good way to fix that up. The Linlins, I think, are a big part of it, and so are the Gecko Morias. So I don't really have any other opinion on, like, for Gecko Moria and Linlin. I think they're a big part of the deck. Same thing with Rebecca and Brooke, but these aren't that expensive. I think Brooke's pretty cheap right now. Or, excuse me, Rebecca's pretty cheap, and I think Brooke's like $5 a card. So I know that we can't make this deck too budget. It's running 2 of, like, the most expensive colors in the game. But at the same time, I think we can get this deck to be around like 120 bucks for the budget players by taking out the Sabos, the Borsalinos, the Kuzans, and then the only expensive cards left would be the Brooke, Gecko, and Linlin. So, you do what you got to do. Work with what you got to work with. If you don't have all the Geckos, maybe just run 2 or 3 of them if that's all you own. Then you can go up your Hogbacks. And let me say that, for every card you don't have in here, just go up blockers or 2K counters. That's like the best advice I could give. Like, say you don't have, say you only have like 2 Kuzans, right? Okay, we'll swap out the other 2 Kuzans with like 2 Peronas. If you only have like 1 or 2 Borsalinos, we'll swap out the other 2 with Fukuros. Same thing with Sabo. Whatever Sabos you don't have, swap those out with Fukuros. But I will say, I think you have to have the Brooks. I think you have to have the Rebeccas, at least for the time being. All right, so that's enough, guys. I'm pretty much done rambling. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please do not forget to, tell me what y'all think in the comment section below about the OP-08 red stuff we went over in today's video. Because I think now I understand red did not get anything really crazy other than Rayleigh, of course, and that really cool alt art secret special rare ace. But I think OP-08 is going to be a pretty cool set with a lot of awesome cards. So, I can't wait to get into the rest of them, because next up, for tomorrow's video, we got blue lined up, right? Because I'm just going to go in order. Or, excuse me, we got greens. Sorry, guys, we have green. It's going to be red, green, blue, purple, black, yellow, just in complete normal order. Okay? Well, all right, guys, let me put up the patrons page here. Big shout out to my patrons, people that help. Thank you to everyone who just watches the channel. If you are viewing the channel, liking it, subscribing, commenting, sharing, any way that you help like that, I appreciate all of it. But a very special big shout out to these guys here. And like I said, once I do get my mat up, the play mat that I have, the Silvers Rayleigh play mat up, I will be having a whole nother page for everyone who bought that, showing their support for me in that way. So, yeah. All right, that's it. I'm done. I promise I'm done this time, guys. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, peace.